I have spent the last 5 years scouring the internet for the best frugal tips and tricks. There is the subreddit r/frugal, and there's also the Facebook group, Frugal Living Tips and Tricks. But after applying and trying out at least a couple hundred of them, I want to filter out the noise for you and share with you the 7 frugal hacks that have worked in my own life. And a couple of them have worked for a lot of people that I also want to try in my own life. The $1 use rule. Let's say I'm looking at a $50 jacket. If I don't see myself wearing that jacket for at least 50 times, then it is not worth my attention and money. For example, maybe it's a jacket with cheetah print that makes me look like a member of LMFAO. Putting on the lens of the $1 per use rule will quickly help me realize that I will not wear that thing at least 50 times. That's more of a fast fashion statement that gets attention, but I really don't want to be known as the cheetah jacket guy. The same goes for a $400 kitchen appliance. If I don't see myself breaking out that KitchenAid mixer for at least 400 times, then I got no business making that purchase. So even though this is a very simple frugal hack, just by shifting your perspective, this does 2 powerful things. First, it forces you to think about the long-term value of a purchase over the short-term excitement. Behavioral researchers call this your present bias. We get pulled in by the immediate thrill, but we forget to think about if this will actually serve us long-term. Second, this little mental cue also protects you from impulse buys. Instead of having this debate in your mind while you're at the store or shopping on Amazon, you now have a built-in filter. Does this purchase fit the $1 per use rule? And if not, the decision is pretty much made for you. So of course, this is not only going to save you money, but it's also going to save you from decision fatigue because you got a whole lot more things to think about. Make stocks from scraps. And I ain't talking about the S&P 500, I'm literally talking about liquid stock. Someone made a comment in a previous video that it makes a lot of sense to use your vegetable scraps or even your meat scraps in order to create either a vegetable stock or a chicken stock. And because now I actually want to apply this principle to my own life, let's read from Redditors on how they've done this effectively. All those bits of vegetables that you peel off of carrots, onions, and whatever go into a pot and make stock. Freeze it as you collect it. Same with bones. Whenever you have a Ziploc bag full, throw it into the slow cooker on low for a day. And boom, stock. Needless to say, but wash the vegetables before peeling or trimming. And we also get another tip. Don't add your trimming from cruciferous vegetables like kale, cabbage, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, or your stock will be unbearably sulfurous in taste and smell. First of all, cruciferous and sulfurous, those are some 8th grade level words right there, so I got to applaud Vasco da Gama. Anyways, it looks like this would be a great alternative to your bouillon cubes, and then you can get the most out of some of your other purchases like a rotisserie chicken by using the bones and scraps for chicken stock. And of course, because we're a community here, let us know in the comments if you've done this before and if it actually did save you significantly instead of buying different kinds of broth at the grocery store. Preventative maintenance. Since my wife and I have been married for around 2.5 years, we're still buying a lot of our first pieces of furniture and also our first cars. So we got manuals on how our different appliances work as well as our furniture, and then we also have some manuals for our cars. Now the thing about this is that we actually keep these manuals. We have this little plastic container size of a shoebox and we keep them all there. So now if one of our items aren't working so well or we just have some questions, we can break out the manuals anytime. And in plenty of instances, we've learned that we're not maintaining some of the things we have as well as we should. And by the way, this principle of preventative maintenance not only works for furniture, but also your home, your cars, of course, and then even your teeth. That's right, I said it. These pearly whites should be maintained regularly. And the reason why is that maintaining is going to be a whole lot cheaper than fixing and repairing. Obviously, it's just by doing little things that keep our stuff in working order. For example, changing your air filter or changing your oil in your car. And also, flossing your dang teeth. I'd rather you just buy a new toothbrush or get some floss than you having to pay for a whole root canal. But seriously, especially if you're a homeowner, my wife and I aren't quite there yet. Just by doing monthly or quarterly checks on the big things like your HVAC system or your plumbing, those things can save you thousands in the long run, and it just requires a little bit of diligence, which you could be better at by setting some reminders on your phone. Use your local library. As a Frugal Living channel, I was called out by you guys for not highlighting the beauty of a local library. There are just so many hidden perks and hidden things you can get for free because this resource is just there for all of us.
Okay, but this place is still pretty great. I can use the Wi-Fi next to some guy named Jake. Log on to MySpace and play RuneScape
Let me know in the comments what you currently use your local library for, but let's read about what people have unlocked through these facilities. I get books, I get free passes to museums and galleries, I get free loaner equipment like cameras, studio equipment, camping gear, etc. I get free parking passes for state parks, I get to use their 3D printers for super cheap, I book a room there and go study/work there instead of going to a cafe and spending money. Wow, you're right. Honestly, I used to do all those things when I was in community college. I forgot I can rent a study room to work. And I remember when I was in college and I wanted to make videos, I went to the library and I rented out a camera, I rented out this cheap microphone, but that was literally enough for me to get started. Tough socks.
Y'all know that they make socks with a lifetime warranty? They do. They're called Darn Tough Socks, and I've actually known that these have existed for a while, but I just bit the bullet because I saw this pair. They're cherries. Look how cute these are. They must have a millennial or a Gen Z on the design team now because these are absolutely adorable. I don't know why these came packaged. Cherry pair was $19.95, and this pair that's thicker, that's like more like winter, was $24.95.
This video came to me at a perfect time. I would buy socks and I would run through those things and make holes within 3-4 months. Just looking at the reviews here, like someone said these a tester for them. I used them when I was in the military and have some that are 4+ years old and still look new. Now these Darn Tough Socks, and they're literally called Darn Tough Socks, they are perfect examples of why you should invest in quality items, especially if you use these items frequently. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy a pair of these, but a few other items that come to mind that are gonna be used frequently that you should buy quality for are like my backpack, my water bottle, and even my wallet. These are things that you should definitely invest money into because you're going to be using them. So might as well make them last by making a quality purchase up front over trying to go the cheaper route. Meal prep before serving. This frugal hack is just a simple change in your routine when it comes to making meals. It's a better way to do portion control for yourself and also a great way to prep your meals proactively. All right, here's how it goes. Once you create that meal for your family or that meal you made in bulk, don't go right ahead and just serve it. Before you serve it, break up that whole bulk meal into the meal portions you're gonna eat throughout the next few days. And then serve yourself the portion that you wanna eat right then and there. It helps to have glass Tupperware because obviously that food is probably hot, but you also want those Tupperware to last. But overall, this is just a quicker way to make your home cooked meals last longer and already be there for your work lunches, as opposed to you going ahead and eating that meal quickly and then throwing the rest of the leftovers into a large piece of Tupperware. Might as well break it up right then and there. Online grocery shopping. Over the last year, my wife and I have used the Walmart Plus subscription for the very first time, and I'll tell you what, that is so worth it. First of all, even outside of groceries, because we're Walmart Plus members, we can get Sam's Club gas prices. So that's at least 10 to 20 cents per gallon that we're saving, and of course, the grocery delivery is the biggest perk thus far. I know before we did grocery delivery, we would have the problem of going into the store just to get some eggs and milk, but we would walk out with Oreos for the milk, as well as chips that we definitely did not need. So right away, grocery delivery cuts down on those impulse buys. When we're in the comfort of our home, just looking through our pantry and our fridge while we're doing our shopping, there are no aisles, no distracting BOGO signs, and no bright packaging that causes us to buy more nerd clusters. We also literally get to see the total of our grocery shopping add up as we're doing the shopping. It's no longer a surprise at the checkout line when you're scanning all of your items. It's now something that we're clearly aware of as we're adding our groceries onto our cart. That honestly just pays for itself as we cut down on our impulse purchases, random snacks, and other pieces of junk food. Plus, we are cutting down on a lot of time, from driving to the store to filling up the cart and then reloading it and unloading it. That takes up a lot of time, which is now saved because of this small subscription. If you yourself have used grocery delivery, let us know in the comments and tell us, was it worth it for you? And finally, if you want to know some grocery hacks that are actually not worth the time and attention and the hassle, click on this video right here because I break down a few of them that are actually going to do more harm than good. So click it right now and I'll see you guys over there. Peace.